Yes, it's Danielle Sullivan, Danielle Sullivan. Got that
Okay,
right. All
awesome. Well,
right.
thank you. First thing, I just want to know how you came to hear about the Cash Carnival and what you are bringing to the students and how that's going to benefit them.
All right. Well, I heard about it through Rachel Prather. She's one of our peer advisors in our office, and she contacted my supervisor, Stephanie Covington, to have a representative come to the Cash Carnival. And what financial aid really brings to the table is I don't think I've met a lot of students who can go to school without financial aid. Most of the students who are attending University of Kansas are on some kind of financial aid. So it's important as a vehicle to get you through college.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have financial aid myself, so
I
completely
did too,
understand.
yes. And now with the cost of college, I think it's even more important to understand financial aid, how it works, apply early, meet those deadlines so that you're really taking advantage of everything that the federal government and the university has to offer.
Awesome. That's helpful.
Yeah.
What? Let's think of another question. What was my second question? Do you remember? This is
My experience.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please tell me about your experience and how you got into financial aid and what that means for you?
Yes. Well, I first learned about financial aid as a student, and I would not have been able to come to KU had I not received some kind of financial aid because it was very much out of my family's price range at the time. So I learned about the FAFSA as an incoming freshman and got to fill that out with my mom every year via paper. So all of you who do that online, I don't want to hear any complaints because it used to be 60 to 70 questions that you would fill out by paper, and if you made a mistake, you had to get another piece of paper and mail it in, and that would take 6 to 8 weeks. So it was a little bit more daunting back then. But so that's when I first learned about financial aid, and then when I graduated from KU, I got a position with one of the Department of Education contractors that handled defaulted student loans. So I got to kind of see the dark side of financial aid and really how if you don't manage your money, if you don't pay attention to your mail or understand what you've borrowed while you're in school, it can really affect your life in a very negative way. I don't know if anyone really knows how it affects you, but they can garnish your wages, they can take your tax return, they can take your spouse's tax return, and if you fail to pay and you're starting to draw Social Security, they can take part of your Social Security as well. So it really can stick with you from the time you graduate until you're 60 years old. It just is something that doesn't go away. So I kind of learned about kind of the bad side of financial aid on the end where it wasn't too late to do something about it. And then I heard about the job through KU and figured that'd be a great way to get ahead of the problem and educate students at the beginning of the process and hopefully make a difference in their lives so where they don't end up going down that path of default. So I've been in the office for about 5 years now, and I'm a counselor in the office and pretty much deal with students and parents on a day-to-day basis answering the gamut of financial aid questions and non-financial aid questions, like where's a good place to eat on campus. So we pretty much can answer anything.
Nice. So you mentioned managing money. How important do you think that is to a college student's future and life here at college?
I think it's one of the most important things you're going to learn as an 18-year-old. I was very fortunate to have a mother who really knew what she was doing with finances. We grew up very, very poor, single mom, so she had to have a handle on how everything worked. And I knew from a very early age that I had to understand finances in order to get an education. She laid out very clearly, this is what I can afford, this is what I can't, and you've got to find a way to make the difference up. So at a very early age, I knew how to budget, I knew about my finances, I had a checking account at the age of 14 and really had an understanding on what I needed to do to get myself through college. I have a lot of friends who didn't have that and graduated with more credit card debt than they did student loans, and they're still paying it off and they're in their 30s. So it's really a time where you can make very, very horrible mistakes and ruin your life for a while at least. There's always a way to work yourself out of a financial hole, but it's just added stress you don't need when you graduate from college. Should be a great time in your life to go out and find a job and kind of get your life started, and you don't want to be bogged down with all those mistakes that you made while you were in school.